face mole is back. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today, as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my everyday natural glowy winter makeup that I've been sporting pretty much every day if I've been wearing makeup, because who can be bothered with the full face at the moment? I most definitely cannot. And I've been having a lot of comments on previous YouTube videos about my skin looking really healthy and really glowy, so I thought I'd share with you exactly what I've been doing to create that look. Disclaimer, I am not in no means a frigging makeup guru, beauty guru, makeup artist, any of that. That is not my forte. This is just what I've been doing and it seems to be looking okay. So thought I'd get that out of the way before you're like, why is she using a friggin' contour brush for concealer? Because I didn't know it was full contour, alright? I just work with the tools I've got and just use them for whatever I feel like. So let's get cracking. First off, I'm just going to put my hair back because we don't want that in the way while trying to do our face, do we, ladies? Okay, so I've washed my face and done all of that jazz. Now the next two things I do to prep my skin are these two steps. I like to prime my face with this Dermalogica Primer. It is so good for people that suffer with certain breakouts on their skin. It's not got any fragrances in or anything like other brands, so it just seems to work really well with skincare products, and it's also got an SPF in, which is absolutely brill. So I'll pop a little bit of this on first. So I pop about this much all over my face and just rub it all in. So after I've let the primer settle and sink into the skin, I like to put a blob of this all over my face and again let that sink in before going on to any of the actual makeup. Okay, so I've just put the aloe vera all over the face and also down my neck, and as you can see it's a little bit dewy, a little bit sticky, so I'm just going to let that settle before I go any further. Also, while that's settling, if my lips are ever a little bit dry, I like to just put some of this this is the lip scrub and balm, but I don't really fancy putting the lip scrub on now that I'm about to do my makeup, so I just twist the other end and put a little bit of that balm on my lips just to make sure that they're nice and hydrated as well, for when I come on to the lips as my usual last step of my makeup routine. Now that's all settled into my skin, the first step of my makeup is going to be concealer. Now I have just used for years this Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. As you can see, I've just plastered that in the little places where I've got a little bit of scarring and breakouts, and also just around my nose to get rid of the redness. I then just take this Real Techniques, I don't know what brush this is, contour brush, like I said in the beginning, don't use them for what they're for, and then literally just dab all of that concealer into the skin. A tip for concealer I actually learned a few years back was to dab the concealer onto the areas so it stays, rather than rubbing it into circles or brushing motions. That's when you start to get like the tidal effects, and also the product starts to move away from the targeted area that you want covered a lot more. Okay, now that concealer is all blended in, there is two different versions of this routine that I tend to do. Now, if I was just to not be filming or anything today like that, filming other videos, I would actually just go in with this Primark concealer stick. Yes, I know, this is the one from my Primark makeup haul. And try on, and I never said I'd use it again, but you know what, I actually have. Yeah, so if I wasn't doing anything else and I was just going on a walk or I was just around the house and wanted some makeup on, I would literally just do the concealer I've just done and then put this like loads under my eyes, and that would be it. However, as I'm filming a little bit more today as well, and it could be more of a day-to-day look. I'm just going to go in with the other version I like to do, the second version, which would just be to use a tinted moisturiser. Now this is the NARS one. It's the Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturiser, and this is in the colour Finland, so this is a light one, it says. I'll just put a little bit of this all over my Real Techniques Expert face brush and just blend all that into the concealer. Another tip is to start from the middle of the face outwards. I can't remember who taught me that, or maybe I read about it, but it seems to do the bloody trick. I also find as well, with the tinted moisturiser naturally being a radiant tinted moisturiser, it does give a little bit more dewy glow to the skin naturally anyway. So if you were to try and recreate this look, probably go for some sort of dewy, radiant, anything with those type of words in, rather than matte finish products. So I just use the tiniest blob with that, just all over the face. Now for under my eyes, I just like to make sure they're nice and bright. So I use the Benefit, oh god, how does it, Boying? Hydrating Concealer. So it's this one. The word hydrating as well rings friggin' brightening and dewy and all things looking glowy. So I just like to put a little bit of this. Look at the consistency of it. So it's literally like a Vaseline with it in the middle. I just like to put a little bit of this, just like that, in a little triangle under the eye. Not loads of it because that's not necessary. We're keeping this still day to day. So yeah. Then I go back in with the contour brush. I told you, this is my concealer brush. And literally just dab that from the corner to the outer, making sure you're not too rough with your hand gestures, just because you don't want to create wrinkles, ladies, do we? Because we're too young for that. And then after using the brush, I like to grab my ring fingers and literally just dab it in ever so slightly, a little bit more, just to make sure you've not got any creasing or weird bit over the eyes. And that's that. Now we all do love the dewy natural glow, but I do still like to put a little bit of powder all over the top. This is just a translucent powder, and I grab just my big face brush and just dab a little bit over the eyes, my nose, basically all the oily areas that you have on your face. And naturally my skin throughout the day becomes a little bit greasy, like most people's, so I prefer to put a little bit of powder and make it a little bit matte to start with. Okay, so once my base is done, I like to go straight into my eyebrows. Now, let's ignore the eyebrows because they friggin' need doing. They're very, very bushy right now, but we'll just continue. So it's a little bit hard for me to fill them in loads, obviously because they need doing, but you know, national lockdown and all of that jazz. But I still like to put a little bit of powder within my eyebrows. So I just grab my usual, along with just a standard little angled brush, dab it in the products and just naturally fill the eyebrow where it needs a little bit more colour. Now I've got a little bit more colour, at the moment I just like to go in with this Model's Own clear brow gel, just to, because they're quite bushy at the moment, just naturally like to bush them all the natural way rather than adding a colour, because I've just put some powder in. I don't want them too intense for a natural everyday glowy look, so I just add the clear gel. Done, eyebrows done, I've just brushed them all up to give them a bit more of a arch, a bit more of something while they're so thick at the moment. Right, so if you also know me, you know I love to bronze up my face. I usually use 3 different types of bronzer, a contour, a bronzer, a shimmery bronzer. I just like to look brown and glowy, especially when I'm on a night out. However, I've actually reverted back to just using a very light little bit of bronzer and a little bit of colour. And to get that desired effect, I've just been using a classic, which is the Hoola bronzer. You can't go wrong with this shade. It is just an absolute dream for a bronzer. And with this, I literally just use this little brush and dab it in a couple of times and naturally, obviously, pop it just under the cheekbone. Now, for me, going like this light with product is a little bit, especially for bronzer, because I like to do this and then usually like loads more, but I literally then just drag that up to my forehead rather than adding too much onto the forehead, and then again do the same for underneath the chin. Because, you know, we don't need a huge amount of products on the skin during the day, and we still want to keep it nice and light and airy-fairy. So I'll do the same on the other side, as well as literally just putting a little bit down the bridge of my nose. Then just drag a little bit of that down the old neck. Job's a good one. Then taking this Real Techniques 302 brush, I like to just use a little bit of blush just to add a bit of colour to the old face. And when I mean a little, I literally just dab it in and just add it a little bit to the cheeks. Then, one of the moments we've all been waiting for, a little bit of liquid highlighter. This is the NARS one in Coco Cabana. And I literally get that much on my little ring finger, and naturally where the light and that hits here, I just dab that all the way. You see where it hits there? All the way like that, and just slightly up towards the eyebrow. You see it? You can see it hitting slightly. And I do that for both sides, and I just literally dab that in on both sides. Then once I've done it on both sides, I literally get another tiny, I mean tiny little bit, and just add it to the top of my lip line, as well as getting a little bit, again, I'm putting it on the end of my nose. You can see it already, and then just literally dragging it all the way down. And sometimes I'll put it under my eyebrow if I wanted more of a little glow. In every other makeup or get ready I have done, I always go and do something with my eyes as well. By putting and being like, why am I doing this just for an everyday look, like putting eyeshadow on? I've actually, ladies and gents, stopped doing that. I don't actually put eyeshadow really on anymore. I don't know if it's because TMI, I had a little bit of a dry eczema little patch on my eyelid. I thought, you know what, maybe it's some product I'm using, so I stopped. However, I've started to add a little bit of brown eyeliner, like crayon eyeliner, literally just the tiniest bit to my upper lash line, and it seems to have been making like the slightest bit of difference. Because I've got blue eyes, black can be a little bit harsh because I'm really fair as well, so it can sometimes make me look as if I've got no eyes basically. So I've just been using this a little bit on a tiny little bit of a wing on the top of my eyelashes, so I will go ahead and do that now. If you're also like me and can't really use eyeliner and aren't very good at doing a wing naturally, here's a friggin' little tip. My tip involves sellotape. So you literally peel a little bit off. I'll demonstrate. God, didn't get the acting degree for nothing, did I? And then you grab hold of the crayon, line it up from your nose to the end of your eye, and where this goes up, you should naturally have your flick for your eyeliner. So you need to place your tape, hang on a minute, you need to place your tape exactly where this will line up, which is exactly there. And then I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of eyeliner on both. And now that that's done, also remember the sisters, not twins. Yeah, I think that just makes a little bit of difference to my natural eye shape. And also having it in a brown just really, you know, helps the old eyes pop a little bit more. After that, I just like to curl the old eyelashes. Once the eyelashes are curled, I go back in with another little bit of a highlighter, which is the Primark Pink Diamond, which I used in the Primark makeup vid. Dab it onto just the end of this little brush and just add a tiny bit of that just on the inner corner of my eyes, just to give them a little bit of life, and a tiny bit under the brow. Once the highlighter is done, we grab the old mascara, the Old Faithful from Primark. Something about this wand, I think it's because it's got like the curve. Just love it. Couple of coats of that on the old eyelashes. Then last but not least, I go in with my lip combo. Thanks Amy for this ultimate dreamy combination. These are both by NYX, NYX, however you want to say it. I first off put this lip liner, just a classic nude, and this is in the shade London. And then once I've done that, I fill in the rest of my lips with this cute little butter gloss, which is creme brulee. Oh, smell good as well. And just like that, that is my dewy, glowy, everyday makeup done. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed actually filming this for once. I always get a bit nervous and a bit scared of filming makeup videos because makeup's not my thing, but I was getting, like I said, I was getting a lot of comments saying that people love my glowy skin, I look dead healthy and glowy, and I thought, you know what? Is it down to my skincare? Is it down to drinking more water, fruit and veg? Or actually, is it the whole makeup look in general? So I thought I'd just share with you today what I've been up to and what I have been wearing all the damn time on my skin. If you enjoyed today's video of this glowy little makeup look, please give it a thumbs up, share amongst your friends, and if you want to recreate this look, let me know. Show me on Instagram, give me some love on there, and show me your recreations if you would like to do so. Please take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you soon for another video. Goodbye.